do with the fact that you're going to play better without SBMM. It really comes down to the variety of games that you will get without SBMM being in the game. Your matches are naturally going to be more varied. You're going to play up against people who are really, really good, and you're going to suck. And you're also going to play up against players who are not good at all, and you're going to play very well. That is the thing that no SBMM does for you, is it makes it to where every single match isn't the same thing. And that's where I'm having a hard time understanding people who want there to be SBMM. Why? Why do you want that? Because every single game is the same when there's SBMM in the game. Like, if you want to get a 1 KD every single match and that's all you want to get, well, okay, congratulations, then SBMM is for you. But I just don't understand how that's something that you could want. In my mind, you'd want to have a game where you can be absolutely dominant, and then maybe even have a game where you get absolutely dominated. In my opinion, I actually enjoy games where I go in there and I get trashed, because then it's like, all right, well, hey, maybe next game I'll be the one doing the trashing. What's actually funny about this is the gameplay that I played before this one for this commentary, I actually got trashed on. And it was kind of ironic because I was talking about no SBMM, and then it was a game where I got absolutely destroyed. So, you know, but that's how no SBMM in games works, is sometimes you will be in a really good lobby for you, and sometimes you won't be in a really good game. But that's where the luck of the draw comes in. It's all about ping based. Ping is king, and I don't get how people don't understand that is a better solution for gaming. Now, I've seen a lot of people talking about the fact that the ones that are complaining about SBMM are the ones that are actually not good at the game. And that's actually why they're complaining about it, because they think they're better than they actually are. So they're over here complaining about the game when in reality they're just not good at the video game. So my response to that is like, hey man, if you're not good at the game and you're upset about that, here's the solution. Get better at the game. And I don't mean that in a, you know, cocky manner. No, I mean literally the whole point of not having SBMM is so that you can play against players who are better than you. You're not coupled into a bracket of players that are the same. I'll tell you one thing that does need to be toned down in this game is the freaking snipers, bro. The snip snaps have been wild in this first week. Oh, the turn on was real. Now, admittedly, if you go on my account and you look at my stats, they're not phenomenal. They really are not phenomenal. In fact, the first couple of days of playing this game, I probably won less than 10 games and lost like 20 games. It was absolutely crazy, the dirt nap that I was taking on this game in the first few days. But honestly, man, I'm not complaining about it, because even through my losses, I have had, holy cow, dude, these snipers are nuts. Even through all of the losses, I have had one hell of a time playing XDEFIANT so far. And even with these losses, I've had games where I have been popping off. Now, see, for me, I actually welcome a world where I'm not the greatest in the map and I actually need to learn based off of the players that are better than me. That's actually a good thing, believe it or not. Like, how do you think you get better in this game, man? Like, you gotta play against players who are better than you, so then you can get better yourself. Iron sharpens iron. You guys know how the old saying goes.
Get the big time, hot shot. Happy bounty on it.
Little strafe action right there. Oh, okay. There's a lot going on right there. Honestly, though, guys, just all in all, playing XDEFIANT throughout this first week has been such a massive breath of fresh air. I'm completely away from my teammates. Not exactly the best move I could be doing right now, but okay. As I said, not the best move. Is it the greatest game since sliced bread? No. And like I said in my last video, this game is definitely not a 10 out of 10 by any means. It's not. It has a lot of things that it can do to improve 100%. But the fact of the matter is that the game that we have right here is a good game and has a lot of things going for it that are very strong and are setting itself up for success. With all that being said, if you are one of those players out there that is having a hard time with there not being skill-based matchmaking in the game, I encourage you to stick to it, because actually the longer you play a game like this, the more you're actually going to improve and get better at it. There's a lot of little things and nuances to get adjusted to within XDEFIANT, and if you stick with it, in the long run, you will become a better player. And really, at that point, you'll be able to have those pub stomping matches that everyone's really searching for. I know this game can be a bit of an adjustment if you have only been playing recent multiplayer games, but trust me, the longer you stick with it, it's going to get good. Now, that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Let me know in the comments down below what you feel regarding skill-based matchmaking in XDEFIANT. Are you a fan of it not being there? Do you want it there? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But other than that, if you want to see more XDEFIANT content just like this, live streams and videos every single week, then subscribe to this channel. I'll see you guys next time on XDEFIANT Guys.
So it's fair to say conservative men have not been hiding their basic hatred of women, especially on platforms like Twitter. Now, you guys know I've really tried to reduce my usage on Twitter, and I've deleted it off my phone. I'd say I've reduced my usage by about maybe over 95%. Sometimes I do go on it though, because I just want to, you know, grasp what the conversation is. And something that was going around recently on Twitter, which I think highlights a lot of things I've spoken about on this channel, was there are a couple like TikToks of women complaining that they basically couldn't find a man who like suited their standards or whatever. And the comments weren't sympathetic. It seems like a thing conservative male Twitter likes to do, is just laugh at women's misery when it comes to this stuff. And in that, it reveals a lot. But also there were people replying saying, well, this woman would never date me, someone who has a lot to offer her, like financially. Like I'm a veteran, I'm retired, I have a pension and stuff. All that stuff makes me good. Or like I'm 6'3", that makes me like worthy. And all the replies talking about this makes it clear that men specifically still don't understand what makes someone attractive in a relationship, especially conservative men, because they're acting like it's all like a financial proposition. And as you're going to see in some of these replies, they're talking about these women being lonely because feminism has basically tricked them, because it said, oh, you don't have to conform, you don't have to be like your parents or grandparents and just marry someone very young, give up your life, give up your job, have children, and that's basically your role. May think that's a good thing. And now these women are like lonely and can't find a man. They're like, well, we told you feminism was bad. But we've covered the trad wife stuff on this channel, and we know that's not a good thing. And so many of you guys who have family members like myself who were in those more traditional relationships will tell you, yeah, it's a bad thing and often has bad outcomes. But then what's so funny about these guys saying it is that like neoliberal capitalism has also sold them a lie, and they don't realize it. Because from what they're saying, they all think they're entitled to find a partner based on their finances and not bringing anything to the table emotionally, in terms of personality, in terms of just everything outside the realms of finances, because they've been told their entire life, if you like get a good job, if you have a home, stable income, then that is like half the battle in actually finding a relationship. And this is why they actually hate things like feminism, because now relationships are less and less a financial proposition, because yeah, women can have their own careers and don't need a man financially, right? But they wish this world still existed, so they'd have another string to their bow of basically trapping women in these relationships. And it is scary that so many of these still think like this, because there's lots of them saying we should get rid of no-fault divorce. Essentially, let's make it far harder for women to leave like terrible marriages with men in general, but in this instance we're talking mainly about conservative men. So I want to talk about these two examples and what they reveal. But before we go any further, please follow me on social media at The Cavernacle on both my Instagrams, my personal and my travel Instagram. Check me out on Threads and Blue Sky. We are talking about Twitter here, but I don't really use Twitter that much, so follow me there if you want, but I don't really care. And also check out my Patreon page if you want to support me. Trying to build up as many $1 to $3 patrons as possible, and you get access to the Discord server if you are a patron. So like I said, it seems to be a pastime for American conservative men to just post a woman complaining about how she can't like get a meaningful relationship and basically laughing at it and blaming feminism. So in this clip, the TikTok user, and I think this is the original person, called Ryan Spencer, or maybe it's a repost, I don't know. And basically this woman is just basically talking about how all her friends are in relationships, they're all happy, and she's had a very successful life. She's got it all sorted, pretty much, apart from she can't find someone to share this nice life with. It's 3 minutes long, but I'll play you some of the relevant parts.
Like, I am so sick and tired of just everything right now. I have literally convinced myself at this point, based on everything that everyone's telling me, my therapist, my family, my friends, that I'm just doing everything wrong. I'm healing wrong. I'm thinking wrong. I'm training wrong. I'm doing relationships wrong. Everything I do is fucking wrong, and I'm so sick of it. Stop comparing. It's not even about comparison. Like, I genuinely just want love in my life so badly.
We're taking zone A.
It's literally not about anyone else. It's just about me and what I want. I feel like I have done so much work on myself. I have built a beautiful life for myself. I'm happy with my life where I'm at, my job, I'm successful, I'm independent, I'm healthier than I've ever been. Truly the only thing I'm missing in my life is someone to enjoy it with. And I'm so sick of waiting. Like, when is it going to be my turn? What more do I have to do where I'm allowed to meet this universe soulmate person that God supposedly has for me? How much harder do I have to pray and manifest and wait? I don't expect a lot. I just want love in my life so bad. I want my life partner. Am I just supposed to be alone? Like, is that the message? That this beautiful life I've built for myself, like, it's just supposed to be me in it alone? All of my friends have their fiancés and their boyfriends and their husbands that they prioritize. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I've been left behind. And I really just want to find that person that matches my energy and wants to build a life.
So I don't think she specifically references dating apps, but that's like part of the problem. And you're going to see the dating app thing come up a lot in this video, so I might as well address it. So this person is talking about how they can't find someone compatible with them. And I sympathize with that to some degree. Like, I've been in a long-term relationship pretty much since dating apps were even a thing with my girlfriend who I met in high school. And I was thinking about this recently in terms of if we ever broke up, would I even want to date again, like in any capacity in like the near future, like a couple years after that? And I'm just thinking, like, no, because the dating landscape at the moment just seems really unappealing in terms of dating apps. And I know what I'm like personally, and not how picky I am, but how hard it is to find someone you really vibe with. And I know that because of how hard I've actually found making friends as I've gotten older. Now, I still have a lot of friends, and I'm thinking about, I'm actually going to something at the weekend with a lot of my friends, but I was thinking about what age did I make friends with these people? So the earliest ones there, I made friends when I was about 5 years old. So that was in primary school. And then secondary school for a lot of the others, so about 12 years old, and a few of them about like 16 years old when we like mixed classes. But nearly every single person I'm meeting at this thing, I've been friends with since school in some capacity. And for a lot of reasons, it's actually good to still have your school friends because you're all so different, but you still get on. So you get that nice variety. But then I was thinking, like, outside of that, when I actually had to make friends in like the real world, work and university, for example, when I'm out of my bubble, how hard or easy did I find it? Well, I think I made 4 real friends in the whole of university. Like, sure, you have like those like mates that you might go drinking with or go to the pub with, but in terms of actual friends you stayed in contact with after you finished, yeah, for me it's about 4 people, and I'd say about 3 people properly. People who I made friends with based on a vibe, based on like shared interests. And I actually pretty much knew within about a minute I was going to be friends with these people because I'm just like that, right? I'm super picky when it comes to friends, and I will know within a minute if I'm going to be your friend or not. And if I expanded that to relationships, I could understand how hard it is. And what you're going to see with a lot of these comments, they're saying pickiness. And I don't think you can tell someone who's looking for like a life partner that they're too picky. They know themselves, they know what works, and they want to find someone who's compatible so it doesn't lead to problems in the future. And you want to get as compatible as possible. Sure, you'll have differences, there'll probably be problems in your relationship where you have to resolve, but you want to get that close. Because I'm sure for a lot of people, you'd rather be single than be with someone you don't really like and you're just doing it for the sake of things. And we all know that is an even more common thing with older generations where they did just settle because of, you know, various things we've already spoke about. But anyway, that's kind of my take on it. So obviously I'm super sympathetic to anyone who finds it hard. And I also like these videos as well because a lot of like incel adjacent talking points allow men to dominate the narrative that we are so lonely, it only affects us, women have the pick of every single guy, they can never be lonely, they can never feel this isolation and stuff, right? So this is why I like these videos. It proves to these people, or it should prove, that this isn't uniquely related to men. This guy who posted it said, all she wants to find a man and she's sick and tired of waiting. Then asks Grok, Twitter's like right-wing AI, Grok says, there are 2 types of narcissism, grandiose and vulnerable. Grandiose narcissists are typically arrogant, confident, and assertive, while vulnerable narcissists are more insecure, sensitive, and self-conscious. Both types share a core belief in their own superiority and need for validation from others. So that's what he's saying. In response to this video I showed you, this person is a narcissist, because they can't find someone to share their life with. How does that make someone any type of narcissist? Yet another modern woman who prioritized career, nice new cars and success over starting a family. She fell for it just like the rest, and you'll see this a lot. My heart actually breaks for her. She's been sold a bill of goods through feminism and the route society has gone. We all need and deserve love. I still get angry at these women, but every now and then I just have pity for them. Obviously, I'm not suggesting they are to take zero accountability and that it's everyone else's fault for the situation, but they were lied to by those closest to them, and they should have been there to protect them. So obviously, I know what the alternative these people are suggesting is basically like women don't have careers anymore. What I always find so funny about the criticism of feminism through some sort of like weirdly like anti-capitalist lens, but just for women, is that they say, oh yeah, having a career, working for the man, it's also soul destroying. Wouldn't it be better if you just like started a family and focus on the family? Things that are more important, right? But they never apply this to the overall system of, oh yeah, it's all bullshit. It pretty much all means nothing for men and women, so we should be free to do what we want. But it's like, no, it's soulless and bad for women, so please become a baby machine and my maid instead. That sounds like freedom. But of course for these men it's all about control. But here is an interesting comment I saw go a bit viral. He says it, but I think he's meant to say I'm a 5'7" dude who's a manager at Amazon warehouse making 55k annual. That would give her the world, but she probably thinks she can do better. That's an issue with a lot of y'all. And here's the whole problem with this mindset. It's like this weird victim mindset, right? She's saying she can't find a relationship. He's already basically saying he wouldn't be good enough because he's an average person. He's 5'7", he makes 55k dollars a year, and he would give her the world. Obviously this comment is weird because it's like, you know, reeks of like desperation. You don't even know this person. Why would you give them the world? Oh, it's because she's like fairly attractive, right? These kind of like incel adjacent talking points is always about like, oh, it's the woman's fault. You don't know anything about this person. She never said, oh, I was dating a guy, I found out he worked at Amazon and I rejected him, or I reject everyone who's like shorter than the average man. No, you're just projecting your own insecurity on this comment. But even talking about your income and job in relation to how much of a match you are for someone in the dating world, like again, it's just so insane. You're prioritizing the wrong things. A lot of people don't care what you do as a job because that's not what they're looking for in a partner. Like, sure, are there people out there who will see these things you just mentioned as deal breakers? I can't date anyone who only makes that amount of money. Yeah, sure, there will be. But again, this person says she's looking for someone to share their life with, so it's pretty clear they're talking mainly about companionship, personality and stuff. So even if this guy led with that, it'd still be a bit weird. But I'm saying for these men, no one cares. No one cares what your job is. And I'm pretty sure, especially for a lot of left-wing people, if I went back in the dating world, I really wouldn't care what someone's like job is or income. Like, sure, as you get older, you do have to worry more about financial stuff, potentially buying a house or rent, or maybe not being in a marriage or relationship with loads of debt and stuff. But I feel like that is thinking really far down the road. Most people in the world work just very, very standard jobs. Jobs they probably don't like that much, jobs that probably don't pay that well. But I think most people realise that is just the reality of living under capitalism. But yeah, you don't have to lead with these things because these aren't desirable qualities. And for a lot of people, they don't matter either. They're not good or bad. It's just your life, right? And if you're a nice person, a great partner, you could be funny, very sensitive, caring, not someone who sees himself as a victim and blames a woman they don't even know for not giving them a chance, then yeah, you might have a bit more success in the dating world. Now, a lot of people were roasting this guy in the comments, but a lot of people were also agreeing with him. But there's another TikTok just like this. So I don't want to play everything in this woman's story, but she just talks about like the struggle of going out, meeting new people, trying to meet a guy, and how it's just been a bit of a disaster. A bit similar to the last one, obviously like very emotional. I'll play you a little bit of it.
Like, I don't want to go out again. I'm tired of it. I'm over it. I'm sick of it. When I try, like, shit like this happens and dating apps suck. And then I get into an Uber on the way home because I can't go have a drink like I wanted to because I have this giant fucking bag full of shit to carry around. And I get in this Uber and it's this 75-year-old woman with her dogs. And she won't stop talking about her dogs and like how she got an oil change and what'd you do tonight? Was the comedy show good? And like, I'm being nice and polite, but all I can think about is like, this is gonna be me. Like, and I know that's a worst case scenario. And it's not even like that's a terrible thing to be single all your life, but like, I just can't help but feel like I'm gonna turn into this because I'm never gonna meet someone. And for everybody who's gonna tell me, it'll come along when you least expect it. I've been hearing that for like 7 years, okay? I'm so sick of hearing that. There's such a thing as people that just don't find their person and don't get married. So like I'm a realist. And the realist in me is starting to think like that's gonna be me. And I'm depressed now over it. As pathetic as that sounds.
So again, that's similar to the last one, and obviously references dating apps more explicitly, which, you know, I'm totally sympathetic to as well, especially as dating apps get more dystopian, talking about like bringing AI into it, and just, you know, how mentally tiring as someone who doesn't know that but can imagine it must be to just keep going on loads of random dates with people you meet online, and then for some reason or another just not vibing with them. As someone myself who has always been so picky with friends and everything, and has a standard that I have before I get close to someone in any capacity, I can totally understand how this would be like an absolute nightmare. Like the thought of just going on all these dates like it's like a job interview to me just gives me anxiety even thinking about it. And yeah, if I was ever single again, I definitely wouldn't bother, to be honest. I'd literally rather be single than deal with that. And it must be terrible for your self-esteem as well, the constant rejection or the constant just, you know, rejecting people because you're not feeling it. Because I know that would make me feel bad and feel like I've wasted everyone's time. So yeah, very sympathetic to this, and again, shows, contrary to the narrative on Twitter from these men, it's not just men who suffer from this, because it's a general isolation problem under capitalism, rather than it's just men all being lonely and can't get dates. But don't worry, men act normal about this. So this account saying, forget the pandemic, there is a literal epidemic of women who cannot find anyone they want to be with. It feels like we're at the precipice of a radical new cultural reality that is changing so fast that most people do not have the capacity to keep up. Then the comments say, a large swath of women have developed unrealistic expectations that most men will never meet. Lots of men are seeing that, and instead of trying to be the best version of themselves, they're like, what's the point, and give up. It's a vicious cycle and it's sad to watch. Precisely. It's not that they can't find anyone, it's wanting a man over 6 foot, and that's 14% of the US population, built like a brick house, 40% gone, making 100K, that's 70% of men. Be choosy, don't be surprised when unrealistic expectations mean not being chosen. And again, for a lot of men, if this is your mindset, I'm sorry, it's just not going to work out, because it just reeks of insecurity that you think you're not successful with women because you're not over 6 foot, built like a brick shithouse, and making over $100,000. And I know, like a lot of you probably know, I know so many of my friends who are dudes who've never had any trouble dating at all, and they've had absolutely none of these things. But yeah, this like victim complex of like boiling this down to a science. And again, it's all superficial, isn't it? If you're very muscly, over 6 foot, and have 100K, you'll be so successful with women. These people just don't live in the real world. They're thinking about like influencer culture or something, because that's the only thing I can imagine for these people, why they think they can't get dates at all. But yeah, men, if you feel like this, some random man watching this, please just don't buy into this narrative about all women only want guys meeting this criteria. Because I can tell you, speaking to women about dating and stuff, most of them don't care about this stuff. They're looking for someone emotionally compatible, right? It's super clear that anyone who comments like this has just never spoken to a woman properly. Now, this is the post that inspired the video, and this covers some other stuff as well about like just people being able to sense a conservative man when you meet him. So this guy writing, my app experience, I'm 6'2", 205 pounds. Dude, like what? Like, I don't understand why that's relevant. I'm also 6'2", I'm 185 pounds. I would never feel that's relevant to my experience in dating. Like, why are you leading with that? I guess he's trying to counter the narrative of like, you know, I am a guy who's in good shape and I'm tall and I'm still struggling. I just think it feels really weird. All my hair and teeth, that's good. Fit, decently okay looking, retired veteran with full benefits, my own place at a beach, my own business. It's all superficial, it's all surface level. None of these things make you a good candidate for a partner inherently, because you say nothing about your emotion, nothing about how you treat your partner, and nothing about your personality at all. You could be super nice, but also super boring. You could be like a lot of fun, you could have a good time with socially, but then you could be, I don't know, very closed off emotionally And for a lot of women, you might not make a good partner, right? There's so many different factors here. Yeah, that's all well and good. I'm glad for you. Glad you own some property. Glad you have a house. Glad you have benefits and stuff, even though you have to serve the war machine to get them. But yeah, I don't know how this is relevant. But in my 3 years of dating app, I matched with tons of chicks, maybe 3 willing to meet in person. Never went anywhere. Again, this mindset of, because I'm 6'2", 205 pounds, have a bit of money and I have some property, that means I should be successful in dating apps. It's just so insane. I do feel bad of men sold this narrative by neoliberalism. You have to be financially successful to get partners, rather than focusing on yourself, maybe going to therapy if you have some issues, and understanding what makes a good partner. It's not financial assets, it's not your height, nor is it your weight. But a lot of people were tweeting about this, good and bad. To start with, it was good. Like, loads of really weird male accounts saying stuff like this. To understand the scope of the modern marriage problem, he lists all of these checkpoints, this guy. Special operations veteran, fit, full head of hair, owns a home on a beach, owns a business, 3 dating app matches, who would meet over 3 years. Like, again, what is wrong with these guys? Full head of hair? Does that compensate for all the flaws you might have emotionally in a relationship? And special operations veteran. I'm sorry, guys. For a lot of people, being a Spec Ops veteran for, like, the most immoral military in the world probably isn't a green flag. You've almost certainly done some pretty horrible, questionable shit, and rightly so, a lot of people might be turned off by that. And again, this guy seeks to blame the women. At some point, we have to look at the freedoms and liberation provided in the revolution and think about whether they are worth it. Is it more or less likely for more children to be born and to grow up with their grandparents' love? Isn't that a good unto itself? So, yeah, women, you should settle for men just because they're tall, have hair, and a house. Despite any red flags, despite any history of being quite violent in their career, just because more children can be born and they can grow up with their grandparents' love. Again, these arguments aren't working. I don't think you're going to be convincing too many women that guys like this deserve a shot. Now, rightly so, people were a bit skeptical of this because he posted a picture of himself. Lots of people saying, you know, for your age, you're good looking and stuff like that. But then thankfully someone spelled it out. Honestly, it's your politics and your abrasive personality. Women aren't attracted to men already enslaved to a certain set of ideals because generally we aren't seen as whole people because of them. He replies, do you really think I talk politics over a dating app? Someone replies, absolutely. And then someone thankfully put, you listed stuff you do and what you look like, but nothing about who you are or what and how you think. You aren't really providing any insight into what kind of person you are, which is kind of important when deciding on who you want to date and take a chance on meeting. Someone saying, just go to Latin America and you'll be married by the end of the week. I know. So when I saw that, I'm already like, oh, so he thinks, you know, I'll go to Latin America, do this passport bro stuff. That could work if I wanted it to, because that's how I view women abroad. They all just love American men so much that I can just go there and, like, rescue one of them and make them my partner. But yeah, lots of people are like, you know, this guy's giving me bad vibes. And I even just went on his Twitter for 2 seconds and he's liking loads of right-wing stuff anyway, like straight away. Look at this quote. The fastest way to disarm an IED is to toss your change in the road and let the locals do it for you. Hardest meme I've seen in a long time. Good night. My dude, I think women might be able to sense you might have some issues if you're a Spec Ops veteran who's liking stuff about people chucking money in the road in poor places. And this meme isn't saying, like, see if they go because they might know where they are. It's like, nah, so they can step on them instead of you because their lives are worthless in the country of colonizing. I think that's a green flag, man. I'm really surprised women won't give you a chance despite you having a full head of hair and having some property. He also liked a lot of tweets like this. All these people trying to tear him down, make him humble because he's attractive. And most likely people find his looks intimidating, which is why no one approaches him. And he liked this. I'm glad he was able to admit he's attractive as he struggles with meeting people as well. Someone saying a lot of miserable, ugly, fat fucks getting mad at him in the quotes and comments. And then if you go on his likes even more, he's interacting with Mark Cernovich and Jesse Kelly and just liking loads of right-wingers blowing smoke up his ass. And again, people can just sense this. People can sense this. And when you're interacting with, like, far-right conservatives who are talking about getting rid of feminism and talking about how that's bad for women because they should just be baby machines, people can sense that. And I know some people might be very naive. If you are sensitive to politics in any way, even on, like, a societal level, not straight up, like, political theory, you can sense it. Like, my Tory radar has pretty much never been wrong. It's been wrong one time. A salesman in my office thought he was a Tory. He was actually a communist, right? That's the one time I can think of where I didn't understand someone's politics. To me, I can speak to someone for like 5 minutes and know like pretty much their values and stuff, right? So if you're a guy like this, who everything he's tweeted so far, I think to a lot of women, it's very obvious. And you're surrounded by an ideology which literally doesn't view women as equal. And based on all the other shit, I'm really not surprised that you haven't had success. And to a lot of these people, it's shocking. I'm fairly good looking, I'm tall, in shape, and have money. Why can't I get a woman to date me? Because you might have a trash personality and you're actually conservative, which to a lot of women now, especially younger ones now in America, that's a massive red flag. People saying, even talking about Jordan Peterson and Joe Rogan on a date being a red flag, that's not just like a meme on Twitter. That is a serious thing. But if you go on his actual profile, I'm not going to read all these out, but you see like loads of right-wing tweets. People have been finding them. The way he spoke about women, pretty sexist as well. I showed you some of his likes. And considering the political landscape of America, you just can't be a conservative and not have that wrapped up with tons of misogyny. And like I was saying at the whole point of the video, conservatives are blaming feminism basically, but they can't get dates. They're blaming the empowerment of women to not rely on men anymore, to break out of this trad wife dynamic that was forced on most of them, to actually have some sort of financial independence by and large. And that means, because of that, they can be far more picky with who they date, or just decide not to have a partner if they don't want to now. But their reaction to that is not I should better myself to make myself more attractive as a partner. It's that, oh no, I'm blaming feminism because the stuff that would give me access to a marriage and a relationship like 40, 50 years ago, that doesn't work anymore. And that's actually bad because if I want to have a relationship, I actually have to work on myself to make myself more emotionally compatible and attractive to women now. And for a lot of men, I feel bad because obviously because of patriarchy, a lot of men don't do this. We don't go to therapy. We don't look at our flaws. We blame everyone else because we've been sold, as men especially, in neoliberal capitalism, this like kind of trajectory of work hard, get a good job, have a lot of money, fit into a certain masculine mold, and then finding a partner will be no problem. When they find out that's not enough, and you actually have to be a good person who cares about other people, have a successful relationship, then they just don't like that. I would say to any man watching this, does feel like that, please just reevaluate, because you're never gonna get anywhere thinking financial success equals entitlement to a partner, because it just doesn't. And more people just don't give a shit about this stuff. It's all about your personality, and it's all about your emotional maturity and not bringing a bunch of issues into relationships. But anyway, that is it for the video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and if you made it this far, thank you for watching.
All right, let's watch a little bit of this Can You Be Gay?
The only identity I want to claim over my life is child of God. I hate
XLGBTQA.
labels, so even as I came out of the closet, like I didn't like to announce myself as gay. The only identity that I clearly see within inside of myself is being a child of God.
Yeah, a gay child of God.
Has defined for me as a man.
Why is there conflict there between being a child of God and other parts of your identity?
It's not really up to me to get to define like who I am, and a lot of times even in my own life, like I thought that I wanted certain things, and then I realized that those things were not good for me.
It isn't up to him to identify who he is, and that's why he's doing a very bad job identifying as straight right now. This is an automatic L for the former gay camp because there's no such thing, and it's so apparent. You know what I mean? Immediately, it's like, oh, never mind. Like, you're still gay. Okay, got it.
So I'll say this. I'll agree that having same-sex attraction is not a choice and stuff, because I had same-sex attraction since preschool and stuff. I didn't have that choice and stuff. I was like, oh, why am I attracted to guys like how girls and guys normally are attracted to each other? But I definitely will say, like, you know, as a Christian from a theological standpoint, you do have a choice to act on it or not. And God gives us the power by the strength of the Holy Spirit to have us walk in a life that is holy and pure and righteous before him.
In a lineup, all of the ex-gays, except for the other person who was saying that they possibly wanted to be trans, they're getting clocked as gay before you every single time.
I was just thinking that.
Like, there's just like, I really liked men even as a child. It's like, bro, you're still gay, man.
That's
How
why
do you
need to
not
send me
see
to
it?
you could send me to a Trump rally and I would fit right in.
There's no clearer indication of the concept of ex-gay being a falsehood than literally just putting a bunch of people who claim ex-gay in a room and being like, go ahead, explain to us.
I should do one of these videos.
It is fundamentally at odds with what you are presenting. Like, what do you mean? And it's so obvious. It's so obvious to everybody. You're like, yeah, I used to f men and I'm no longer gay. It's like, sure, dude. Yeah, got it. Whatever you say, brother. Sure.
Something that I don't want to do. Like, let's say I love Big Macs. I love going to McDonald's. I love eating, but that's not necessarily good for me. Would you say that I repress my needs?
That's not repress.
Why does it have to be negative? Why can't it be something positive? Yeah, like self-control.
I love this dude being like, listen, I also have an eating disorder, which is also very gay, okay? Have you seen the way this man operates?
I wouldn't eat a protein bar this morning because it had 14 grams of fat.
There's 14 grams of fat in it. I wanted to headbutt him.
No, because it is an egreous amount of fat for a bar that's marketed as a protein bar.
Oh my God. We're not.
And I will stand on this hill. It's a problem with the food industry. You can market something as a protein bar when there's more fat in the protein bar than there is protein.
Bro, there's
14 grams of fat for a bar. There's 9 calories per gram of fat.
It needs to be edible,
That's
Austin.
whatever 9 times 14
It needs
is.
to be edible.
There's many edible things with low fat. We have a fat problem in this country. Fat is not bad, but we eat it in excess, okay?
That's not
butter,
true.
Butter.
If you eat out,
oil.
yes, but if you eat a protein bar, you're not getting excess fat.
It is excess fat. That is too much fat for that
Oh my
portion of
God,
food.
we're okay. You're literally chowing down on hummus right now.
No, I'm eating chicken breast.
I know, but you're also
that's
eating
a healthy
hummus.
fat. What's in that protein bar? Chocolate, peanut butter. Well, peanut butter's good.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
All right.
We know that homosexuality occurs throughout nature. This is not a question anymore. And the idea.
Homosexuality occurs.
That's my favorite thing. When people try to say it's not natural, it's like, bro, do you know the animal kingdom? Do you know how gay animals are?
But there's only one species that is homophobic, and that's human beings. So which one is unnatural? I saw that on a shirt yesterday. I want to buy it.
Good shirt.
A great shirt.
It is a hilarious thing that people say like, oh, well, it's not natural to be queer. It's like, bro, you have no idea what nature looks like then.
Because it used to be like they did have psychological terms. Homosexuality was considered to be a disorder.
In the age of Freud, but we've moved on since then.
Debunked that.
Why have we moved on since that? Was it the gay rights movement?
No.
That's so funny. Dude, I love conservatives. They literally be like, remember when homosexuality was considered a mental illness? Yeah, dude, they also would lobotomize women back then. Like, what are we talking about? Yeah, it's called science, man. It improves, okay? When we find out that like certain things that we were doing were actually not great in terms of like fixing people's like ailments or whatever. It's so dumb. Doctors just give women orgasms to stop them from being crazy. Yeah, that's
That seems to be a self-serving.
No, that for hysteria.
Freud was science progresses as we get new knowledge. That's how science works.
I believe if you were born with a vagina, you are a woman. If you were born with a penis, you are a man.
Wait, is this even about being just open with transphobia just for no reason?
There's nothing funnier than saying that while sitting next to a person who is intersex who literally just said they're intersex. Like, brother hasn't even figured that out. Like, I guess he was just going, la la la, can't hear you. Like, what do you mean? And there's a ton of intersex people out there. We just don't know usually, right? But like, this person is openly intersex. Like, you're sitting next to the person. The do you mean?
I don't want to be,
No, I'm an open book, so ask me anything.
But reproductive organs, like, they don't work. Like, do you have a womb?
For me, no. I was born with literally almost no internal sex organs and non-fully developed sex organs. So when I was born, I basically had
that's the gayest question you could ask.
Formed phallus, but I did not have testes, did not have ovaries, I didn't have any prostate, anything like that. And so when I started going through puberty, I never got.
There's nothing funnier than that guy trying to have sex with women, being like, "Oh, I love this."
You just have such a tight womb.
Yeah, I love thinking about your womb and fertilizing your egg with my semen. Yes, this is what God wants me to do, sis. I mean, broad.
Penis man, vagina female, XX this. And like, I have XX chromosomes, but like.
XX, that is male.
XX is female. So I'm chromosomally a female. However, like my condition's called de la.
It's so funny when you try to like dunk on a person, but you just don't know anything about the subject matter. It's great.
But it's also known by some people as XX male syndrome because, like, again, people just associate the penis being there as something to be male. But up to 50% of people with my condition do end up going under some feminizing transition. I'm happy to share my story because I think it's very important. I think it would help a lot of people understand that, like, if I can be born this way, why could someone not be born a trans person? Why could someone not be born a homosexual or bisexual person?
Well, I want to apologize for the Christian community because I think there has been a lack of education between gender and then also sexuality.
That's what it is.
I'm like, man, that's horrible.
A lack of communication.
Like, attraction.
Bro wants to apologize to the Christian community while simultaneously being like, so what is it? XX is male? How about you apologize for the things that you believe personally?
Wow. Just a lack of communication. That's all this has been, Hassan.
Yeah.
Lack of communication.
I think he needs to communicate less with God.
I believe God created man and woman. I don't see any intersex. I don't see any of these things in the Bible.
Wow, that's
the word of God.
Tremendously dismissive.
The very first being that was created was genderless.
Was Adam. No, Adam was a man, but he said it was an Adam.
Didn't Eve literally get created from Adam's spine? Like, Adam is a man.
Wait, they were doing stem cell back then?
Bro, yeah, his rib. Adam is a man who technically gave birth to a woman.
Technology was wild back then.
Adam was the first trans man, giving birth to a whole ass woman who he then ended up, I guess, having sex with, which is weird. The Bible is weird. Don't ask these questions. Don't ask the questions to the Bible because, one, it does have empreg. Okay, Adam is empreg. And two, his own daughter, technically.
Hey, you know what? They had to do some to create the earth. That was the only they allowed.
A man went to Jesus about his son who was born blind, and he said, "Why was my son born this way? Is it
generational curse?
Is it a result of my sins?" And Jesus responded and said, "It's so the glory of God could be seen in him." You know, that brings a lot of comfort to me. And when I think of a rare case of I know you're not religious, you don't believe in that, but that's how I see you. You know, I see the glory of God in you.
Dude, I hate how smarmy Christians get, like when they're like, "Oh no, I'm praying for you." It's like, bitch, shut the up. What do you mean you're praying for you? Meanwhile, you're simultaneously saying, like, you know, your existence is abhorrent and also immoral because of standards that I misunderstand that someone else made up.
Did you ever pray? I don't know. I'm asking.
Did I pray like the gay way?
Well, yeah. I know we all made those prayers, of course. Yeah. But I mean, because I never went through that.
Did you ever pray the gay way?
I'm wondering, like, in those.
Like in the early.
I prayed for more of it.
No. When in the early stages, like because of the shame and fear that you might be gay.
No,
because that's what he's talking about.
Early on in my discovering my sexuality, I never had issues associated with religion. It was more so the societal expectations of me to being a straight heterosexual male. Originally, we're rooted in probably some sort of religious. Obviously, religion is the reason why society became that way, and then I ultimately felt that way. I never begged for it to be gone. I just kind of ignored it and tried to like push it away, but never begged for it to be gone. And then eventually, I got to a point where I was like, I need more of it, and I'm at that point right now. Where give me all the gay you can give me. Just let it run through my veins. Me up with the gay. I'm all about it, baby. Full throttle gay.
We know.
Change of my desires to be able to say my desires change to want to submit my whole personhood to the lordship of Jesus. I don't feel it. Like I'm like, well, I still have attractions to men, and I'm looking around the gym. And I'm like, wow, these guys are, good looking. I'm still like, I want to submit my desires to the Lord. And
no, he's like a Rick Perry gay.
There ain't no way. There's no way he's gonna last.
Have you ever heard Rick Perry talk about homosexuality?
No.
So Rick Perry is like a fascinating figure for me because I clocked him many, many years ago as being a homosexual man, but like it's not very well known. Like Lindsey Graham, everybody knows, right? But like Rick Perry, most people don't know. And the only reason why I figured that out was because once Rick Perry famously said, being gay is like being an alcoholic. The temptation might be there for you to drink alcohol, but you don't do it when you've cured yourself of your addiction. And I feel like
you never cure yourself of your addiction, right?
No, but like my point is, the only person who could ever craft that narrative be a dude that is addicted to cock in the same way that an alcoholic is addicted to alcohol. That's the gayest you could ever say. Because for most people, for most straight people, they do not have a craving for cock. I don't even think a lot of gay people have that level of craving for cock where they're like, I need cock, except for Austin.
I'm just kidding. I really don't have that much of a craving for cock. See, I give so much to people that have
he has a craving for bussy more than he has it for God.
I get angry because people associate with me with being like a crazed lunatic, and then I do like that. I just, you know what? I'm to blame. I'm the problem.
I mean, you're memeing.
I'm memeing, but still people take it seriously, and then they think I'm sex crazed, and it's just not true.
The redemptive order, you know, like if all the women in the world decided to have sex with women and all the men decided to have sex with men, there would no longer be any reproduction.
There are plenty of straight people who...
Wait, that's so weird. That's insane to say. Does bro think that like people just can't conceive? Bro, how did Jesus get conceived? That's in the Bible, mother. How did Jesus get conceived? If you believe the Bible, then guess what, dude? I guess there's other ways of having children than just straight sex. That's in the Bible. God damn America. That's in the Bible.
Some language here being talked about, like being delivered of homosexuality. If it's not being done by a clinical psychologist, that doesn't change the fact that it's trying to convert you from being one thing to another thing. And I think that is objectively harmful.
It's not about bringing that community from gay to straight. Right. It's bringing them from gay to a relationship with the Lord. I'm married today. I have a baby on the way, right?
Congratulations.
Thank you, bro. But I think when I tell people my testimony,
Okay,
they take
hold on,
the highlight of my story.
Every time I say this, it gets just blown over. But why these people ignore the craziest the Bible says? They latch on to this age-old thing that being gay is wrong. Why don't they just skip over all the other crazy the Bible says every single time? Why?
The Bible.
What is their reason? What is their response to that?
The Bible bangs.
I'm reading something. It says non-virgins are to be stoned, as in with rocks. A woman's punishment for defending her husband is cut off her hand.
I agree. To be fair, those are good.
Giving birth to a daughter makes you unclean for 66 days.
You're reading the best parts of the Bible.
If you disobey God, you will eat your babies. If your brothers die, you need to bang his wife. I don't know.
No, that one is literally. No, that's.
But that's what it says. Master Moses wrote unto us, if a man's brother die and leave his wife behind him and leave no children, then his brother should take his wife and raise up seed unto his brother.
Yeah, that's why. No, you not just you have to f your dead brother's wife. You have to nut inside of her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No bastards may enter the church.
And the thing is, that one is actually really cool because Hunter Biden did that. Yeah, a lot of these phony ass Christians don't appreciate.
Modern day folks would say that that's abhorrent. You know, evil. That's not the word of God. I don't understand why we just ignore all this but cling to the fact that homosexuality is the sin that is going to condemn you to hell. I mean, and we just ignore all the other.
You didn't even do the basic stuff.
I know, but we ignore all the other. I just cannot understand.
You should have hit the basic stuff, like, you know, not mixing and matching polyester and.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying.
Or whatever.
Like, stuff like that.
Not eating shrimp.
But I don't understand. Yeah, exactly. Very basic things that we have just done without, and we have just decided that this is what we're gonna do without, and we've decided that for some reason we're gonna cling to the fact that homosexuality is a sin, despite all of those things happening in the animals that we think God created all around us. All the animals are men, women, all of it. We don't see that. We see that they're perfect because they were made in the eyes of God, right? I don't get it. I just don't get it.
I mean, it's stupid.
Married and me having a child on the way. But the highlight of my story is me coming from a gay lifestyle to a relationship with the Lord.
Wait, his highlight is not even having a child?
Wait, did he have a child? Is he married?
Yeah, he's about to have a child on the way. God. You're so horny to yell at these guys that you're not even hearing.
Dude, I can't even. Oh my God, his poor wife.
You're just scared because their opinion would change.
Oh God.
Their opinion would change. If you only knew.
That is their
story. To be a Christian is part of being suffering. I mean, you should know this. It's like Jesus, he denied himself. He put himself on the cross. Like, there's probably going to be.
Suffered unnecessarily.
That's right.
And why do we need to suffer as people for a book that was written through?
He's saying I'm like the Jesus of not sucking dick when I want to.
I experimented with bisexuality when I was a teenager, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know there was a label. I just did it just because I felt good. But it was until college I realized, like, oh, there's a community, LGBT. So I was happy that I found my identity in the Pride community, and I still do have family and friends who I love who are in gay marriages. But after being born again, just the word itself, it just didn't sit right with me. There's definitely an agenda behind it.
She literally said, I had feelings as a teenager,
be more aware.
Explored my sexuality, and it was a meaningful contribution to my life because I have good family and friends that are still a part of that community. Where did it up? You had people that you could lean on and relate to that were having similar life experiences.
Where
the problem?
How we use that word pride.
Yeah, no, I Well, for the Pride, like, you know, speaking specifically about like Pride parades and like the entire month of June celebrating Pride, if it's a thing that like people are inviting children to and like people like, you know, in Gen Z and things like that, and like you see like genitalia just like out and like people just naked and stuff like.
Hey, calm down, bro. Christ.
They're so stupid.
I've only seen you.
Dumb.
I've only seen you.
We didn't invent Pride to bring children to. I don't want my kids at Pride. I'm not bringing my kids to Pride when they're okay. They can go to Pride on their own when they grow up. Okay. I want to, you know, I want to be proud. You know, and it had nothing to do with. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. You're not gonna defeat the sex-crazed allegations right now. I want to get Pride.
Get my. But it just kills me. Like, no.
Sideways.
You know what people are bringing their kids to church? Who's indoctrinating who?
Okay, bro, you can't yell this much. I'm getting a headache, dude. You're so out of control. You're scaring Kaya.
All these people were brought from a very young age, which is why they're dealing with all this trouble right now.
I just don't like personally agree with that. But then also they view disagreeing with them about their lifestyle as being homophobic when that's completely different things, and they're literally training people like, no, if people disagree with you about who you are, about the life that you live, they're homophobic, they're scared of you, they want to be away from you, and I do not agree with it.
He's like,
I just think they're gonna go to hell.
Yeah.
And what they're doing is abhorrent. It's morally repugnant to be in love with, as a man, being in love with another man is disgusting.
Yeah, and if anybody thinks that they should die and go to hell and shouldn't be able to get married, that you're just an opinion.
I don't agree with having your cock out at Pride Parade. I don't like. Public,
I don't
like public nudity at all. I think it's weird. I mean, people do it without it being affiliated with gay either. Like people do the naked bike ride and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's gross.
I've been to Pride a few times, and I have not seen a cock or a pussy or boobs or anything.
Like to them, I will say I don't agree with that lifestyle.
I have been.
For the people that want to be naked in public, I don't agree with your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't agree with it. You have to be oppressed a little bit.
I also, I'm from Oregon, so I've seen the naked bike ride.
Bro, go to the Keys in Florida. They have naked painted parades all the time. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it has nothing to do with like
the homosexuality,
pride, straight pride. I don't give a kind of.
Yep.
Don't be proud of that.
There's nude. What about a fucking nude beach? Hello?
Yeah, exactly. And the point is, you have to go there to see that. You know what I mean? And that's fine. If you want to be naked in public and you live in like a nudist community, that's one thing. If you know, I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of like, where's the smoke for Mardi Gras and public nudity? I think Mardi Gras is gross too. I'm incredibly consistent on this issue. I think Mardi Gras is disgusting for not just nudity, but and also like some level of nudity is not the end of the world. I'm not like the massive prude or anything. I guess for me, it's like it has to be appealing. Yeah, and no, this doesn't pertain to being topless. I don't give a that. Yeah, whatever. Let your titties fly. I don't give. Look at this slut. I mean, look at him. Look at him. He's literally blasting nips out here. That's fine. Like I said, when we're talking about like dicks and pussies, and we're just like talking about like old ladies and old men having their dicks out and pussies out, I'm like, okay, dude, can we?
They had their time. It's over.
It's just like, let's not do that. Let's dial it back a little bit.
By the time you get confident in being naked, nobody wants to see you naked. You know, it sucks, but that's just the reality. The older you get, the more confident you get in your body, and then by the time you're ready to just let it go, like nobody wants to see it.
The best example is the locker room.
Yes, I talk about this all the time.
There's gonna be nudity there. You can't stop it. Yep. You know, that's the locker room.
Yep.
It's normal.
Yep.
Doesn't mean it's great. It's not a great experience. Okay.
And the funniest thing is the older straight men get, the more confident and more they want you to see their dick because they're so proud of it.
Dude.
And they're so straight.
And it's the lower your balls hang.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a gravitational pull to the balls. Okay.
Yeah.
And the more time you spend on this earth, the more your balls keep sagging. And the saggier they become, the more confident you become for some weird reason. I don't know why. Locker rooms. I mean, this is just like you go to one locker room. Okay. You will know exactly what I mean.
Yeah. And public restrooms too. Look, I went to an event in which there was people lose their shame as they get older.
Yeah.
And also unfortunately control their bowels. But when I was at this event and there happened to be a lot of older people there. And bro, I walked to the bathroom, fucking just pants at the ankles at the urinal.
That's crazy.
Just ass out, everything. And I was like in the bathroom just struggling, blowing out the back toilet seat. It was just so violent. And I'm just like, God, I don't want to get old. I just don't want to get old. It was just, it just sucks. It just sucks.
But some are pushing this demonic agenda on the kids because kids' minds are sponges. And when you show them that being a man and a man and a woman being together is okay, they're going to grow up thinking, okay, I can do the same thing. And when you do that, you're turning a whole nation.
I have said this so many different times. Okay. And it's very clear by like who I am today that I did not have a tremendous amount of gay influence growing up. I was raised in a household with 2 straight parents. All my siblings were straight. I was told I was going to be straight. I was going to marry a woman, and I still turned out to be gay. All right. And no pride display at Target or RuPaul's Drag Race or Queer Eye for the straight guy could have changed my trajectory.
Dude, obviously if that was the case, then there would be no homosexuality, because for every one like RuPaul's Drag Race, hundreds of examples of straight relations in our heteronormative society. So you'd see like one gay thing and then you'd turn around and be like, oh, and then you'd see 1,000 other straight things and be like, all right, I'm back to being straight. It's so dumb. Also, yeah, there would be no gay people in like Iran if that was the case. It's not like how did that happen? You think in Iran were like they saw gay television? Is that why?
You don't know RuPaul Persia? A huge hit.
It's so stupid.
Okay, so I actually grew up a Catholic, and I don't agree with a lot of their doctrine. You need to be born again to know the Word of God.
Oh, God.
I think, you know,
oh,
what the fuck does that mean?
Oh, dude, it's the worst. If she's evangelical, oh, my God. Oh, it's the worst kind, bro. It's like adult converts, adult reverts of all different shapes, sizes, backgrounds, of all different religions are literally the nuttiest. So consistently. I just don't get it. I unironically was like way more aggro towards religion when I was younger. I've become more understanding of people's faith as I have gotten older. My experience, and I think this is probably many people in this community, I know overwhelming majority of this community, you spend your whole life running away from religion, and it's everywhere. For some weird reason, I don't know, I just cannot comprehend how someone in their adult life can turn around and be like, no, I'm actually gonna run towards religion. I just don't understand it.
She's about to go on and talk about the anxiety that she felt after experimenting. A lot of us, I experienced a lot of anxiety about not experimenting. It had nothing to do with my relationship with God. It had everything to do with my relationship with society and the expectations at which were put onto me from society itself. Nothing to do with my relationship with God. It felt wrong because of everything that I was told, all right? But she's gonna tie it back to the fact that God says it's wrong, and that's why she felt that way. But roll the tape.
Anxiety, I dealt with a little bit of depression because of like the stress of going to school. And when I went through my deliverance, I didn't go into my deliverance being like, oh, I need to be delivered from being a bisexual. I went into my deliverance wanting to be set free from anxiety and doubt. And
what was your anxiety tied to?
So, answering the prompt, I don't think it's healthy.
Yeah, I think one of my first experiences, I lost my virginity through an app called Grindr. And so I was led to experiment on Grindr, and I opened up doors that I wish I would have never opened up before. And that's where I'm like, no,
why are you laughing?
Experiment. Like, if you're having the attractions, understand the attractions,
Grindr.
but don't go out.
He's like, bro, I met a cum-hungry power bottom, and I should have never. I didn't know they made him like that.
Because now I struggle a lot with sex addiction. I struggle a lot with temptations. There's some things that you can't.
No, you've just got a bunch of pent-up frustration.
Yeah,
you have no sex addiction.
It's so funny.
You're frustrated because you can't explore.
There's nothing funnier to me than living in America in 2024, personally self-cucking.
You're just a hoe is what's so
you could literally do whatever the you want, and you're just literally like, I'm literally going to self-neuter for no reason. It's so odd. He just like, dude, he busted a nut in some dude's butt and loved it, and then was like, my whole life is about fighting this temptation. What's wrong with you, dude? Just dog them dudes out. Just
get
do
it
in
a
there.
few times, get it out of your system, right, and then go back.
I mean, I think he is doing it. To be fair, I think I am not convinced he hasn't stopped having
I'll be
sex.
honest. Now that he knows, now that he's a YouTuber, it makes more sense now. He's on this grift.
I don't know. He seems very genuine in some ways because he admits a lot of stuff that grifters wouldn't admit, like the fact that he still has temptation.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Or it kind of opens it up. So if he gets caught on Grindr, he could be just like, "Oh, I was being tempted, but I didn't act on him. I was just looking. I was just browsing." Yeah,
It's
I agree. I think of all the people on this panel, I think he's the most likely to eventually.
Yeah, I feel bad for him. Whereas like the other ones, I'm like, you're lost. You know what I mean? But for him, it's like I kind of feel bad.
I just want to implore all of us to honesty, and I don't think it's honest to claim to be ex-gay because not one of you have said that you have actually been delivered of your sexuality, and by promoting that message, you are causing unnameable harm to young people in churches who are going to think that if they pray or go to therapy or follow
He just said,
your
"Y'all are
version of
still gay."
that God is going to take away their sexual orientation and their sexual desire. I've not heard that said here. I've chosen not to do this. I've chosen to turn away. Say that. But don't promote this message that you can be or should be healed of the way that God created you.
Damn, that's a solid final note because they had nothing for that. They just shut the up and we're like, all right.
Yeah, they had nothing for that.
He's thinking of dicks right now. Like, you look at him.
He's on. He's got Grindr. He's got Grindr.
Not personal.
I just don't understand how people can just say all that hateful and then get up and then hug each other. I don't understand it. Am I up for that?
Well, this is one of those instances where it's like it didn't seem as bad,
except the one guy that was saying that the one guy that got married.
There were a couple dudes in there that you can get away with hugging it, but like
yeah, there's a few.
Sometimes it's like unhinged. It'll be like trans people versus like people who have killed trans people. Let's discuss. And it's like, how do you shake that person? There was an Israel-Palestine debate. How do you get up and shake the hands of the people who just said like, no, actually I was a part of the military machine that murdered your uncle, murdered your aunt, and I think it's totally rad. Like, let's find a middle ground in that. Okay, maybe I should have just murdered your uncle and maybe not your firstborn, right? Like, and then it would have been fine. Jubilee has been saying they want to do a Holocaust survivor versus denier episode for dude, that is unhinged.
That's crazy.
It's like,
that's crazy.
The Holocaust deniers can be of any age, but Holocaust survivors, there's a limited amount of them at this point. You know what I mean?
That's
You're gonna
wild.
put like Gabor Mate against some fresh pizza face Groiper.
That's crazy.
Some things you just can't both sides, man. It feels crazy. Yeah. Holocaust survivor versus guy who wants to do the Holocaust is an insane thing. You can't do a debate between a fact and someone who denies a fact. That's not how it works. Yeah, except that's literally the premise of basically every middle ground episode.
Wow, look at this. Look at this unification of the straight and gay community. Look
There you go. I gotta wash my hand. This game gets scary. Yes, it does. When you think about all the scary things that come into the country. Oh, look at this beauty. Cockdilla, cocktail bezel wood. About the fucking vehicle. What is this, huh? What the fuck is this, Gamal?
My shows in Irvine are only a month away. We added a 6th show due to overwhelming demand. It's gonna be the best weekend ever, so make sure you get your tickets before they sell out. Okay, enjoy the video. Folks, I've talked about many men in my career, whether it's e-boys or soft boys or alpha males. I feel like they all sort of fall under the same F-boy umbrella. And much like an umbrella, they are also stopping people from getting wet. And all these F-boy adjacent guys are pretty wild in their own little fun ways, but I think I may have found the F-boy final boss. The fellow we're gonna talk about today is a creator named Garrett Nolan. First off, I gotta show respect. He's got 2 first names, just like me, Garrett Nolan. Those are just 2 guys. Same as Curtis Connor. Those are just 2 guys. Garrett has had some pretty viral TikToks over this past year, and every time I see one of his videos, I get like really uncomfortable. And misery loves company, so I figured I'd show them to you and we'd talk about them today. So this guy does a lot of like acting POVs. We'll dance our socks off. Thirst traps, little comedy sketches. He does it all. But there's just something about his videos, man. He's like every F-boy smushed into one, dude. He kind of reminds me of that scene in Fellowship of the Ring in the caverns of Isengard. All the little orcs are digging out the big, huge, like bad guy orc out of the dirty, like muddy goo. And this orc orc is like the amalgamation of all the other little orcs mixed into this one super orc. And I think that's what Garrett Nolan is. He's kind of like the big, bad, final orc of the F-Boys. And before we get into the bulk of this video, please don't go to this person's page, send any hate or anything. That's never what I want to happen with my videos. We're just goofing around here, man. We're just engaging in some buffoonery, some tomfoolery if we're lucky. All right, let's watch one of his TikToks.
Sorry, baby.
Hey, breathe. It's okay, love. Remember, we date. It's actually loyalty over love. I'm not leaving over an argument. I'm not leaving because you still have unhealed wounds. I'm not leaving because you messed up. I'm not leaving because you sometimes say the wrong things. We will learn together.
I love you so much.
I love you too.
He listed like way too many things, right? Buddy had like a whole list of shit that he did not like about his girlfriend. Listen, babe, if we date, it's loyalty over love. I don't love you, but I'm loyal to you. I'm not leaving over an argument. I'm not leaving because your breath smells like a petting zoo when you wake up. I'm not leaving because the size of your feet. Hell, even if I did, you'd probably step on me with your humongous, freakish ogre feet. Fuck. I'm not leaving you because of your unibrow or your forehead or your butt chin or your chin butt. Together we'll find a way. For me to ignore all of that stuff. I love you so much. I loyal to you too. But yeah, this Garrett guy does a lot of these videos where he'll like make up a relationship scenario where the girl is crying and then he steps in like, shut up. It's fine. I'm the solution. Why would you cry when I'm me? Here's another one he did.
What's wrong?
Nothing.
Is it supposed to be teardrops? It looks like they put like a spray bottle on her cheek. That's how people cry, right?
Love, it's okay. It's okay. I'm here. Everything's fine. You're safe. What's wrong?
I just really need you.
You have me.
Yeah, that's cute and all, guys, but you're kind of taking up the whole hallway. It would have been so great if this video ended with a guy just being like, oh, sorry, just let me squeeze past you guys here. Sorry. And you know what? I don't know what it is about me. Maybe I'm getting old. Maybe I'm just a fucking douchebag. But like, who is this for? Who is this content for? Because I looked through the comments and literally all of them are people just being really, really sad. Oh, to be loved like this. I want this, but I'm too single. Yeah, I wonder why. Your name is Draco Ron Simps. Sorry. I wish someone would treat me like that. It would be nice to find a man like that. Maybe it's the side of TikTok that I'm on, but when I went to the comments, I was baffled, dude. I was like, why is nobody hating on this right now, dude? Everybody in the comments are either sad about their own love life or just gassing this video up like crazy. Like this guy's comment. Give this guy a Grammy or something. A Grammy? like the music award? Listen, you can like whatever TikToker you want, but I don't think this video is eligible for a Grammy nom. Okay. Obviously, the person who commented this confused the Grammys with the Oscars. Or wait, hold on. The person who commented this isn't even a person. That's a car. A legit car left this comment, dude. And it kind of makes sense that a car wouldn't want to associate with the Oscars. Cars was famously snubbed in 2006.
And the Oscar goes to Happy Feet.
Sorry, we're getting a little off topic here. It's just always super funny when dudes like this like make up these scenarios to make themselves look like a super sick guy. I've always wondered this. Why is it that all the dudes who make content about like how great of a boyfriend or how great of a husband they would be, they're always single? Isn't that fucking weird? Obviously, I can't 100% confirm that Garrett is single, but I did listen to the worst podcast episode ever recorded. Just saying a lot coming from me. SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, Sandy. But the podcast I listened to was by a guy named Peter Vigilante. Fucking killer last name, but here's a little clip from it.
If I'm not allowed to like a post, which means you think I'm doing something devious, right? That means you can't post the bikini bit because now you're posting it for devious reasons. Because if you think that...
Yeah, not good. But they had Garrett as a guest, and he confirmed that he was a single man. I'm a single male. And that was 3 months ago. So if I'm wrong, I apologize, but that was the most recent piece of evidence I could find. But it's just so weird that all these dudes who are like, I'll be there for you, I'm always there, I'm like the best guy. They never have a girlfriend, ever. It's a fucking fresh and fit syndrome. Like if these guys are basing their entire careers off of meeting women, dating women, being attractive to women, why aren't they all fucking married? Or just like in a relationship? relationship at the very least, right? Like, you think they would have figured it out by now, right? Like, that's if a guy was making like video production tutorials that look like this.
So the first thing you need is a nice camera like this, and secondly, you need a good microphone to pick up a good quality audio.
You know, no pun intended, I don't mean to single out Garrett with that criticism, you know, I don't want to just stoop down to ad hominem attacks, right? But speaking of ad, let's hear a word from today's sponsor.
This video is sponsored by Opera. I'm on my computer all day, every day, so I need a browser that can keep up with the 30 things I'm doing at once, and that's why I use Opera. And it seems like the guy we're talking about in this video is pretty obsessed with his features, but the only features I'm obsessed with are all the features that Opera has to offer, like Aria, Opera's native browser AI. You can chat with Aria to get quick, clear answers on whatever topic you need assistance with. You can highlight any text online to get a quick explanation, explore the topic further, or get a translation. You can also activate their new page context mode, which allows you to get any page summarized in seconds, and it also allows you to extract specific information and translate any text. There's tons more you can do with Aria as well, but I'd be here yapping for hours about it, so might as well just try it out for yourself. Opera also has a built-in ad blocker, which is absolutely incredible because have you guys tried reading articles lately? It's just ads now. I don't know what happened. And also loading all those ads slows down your browser performance. What the hell? And with Opera, you can get rid of all those ugly, annoying ads with just one click for a clean, smooth browsing experience. And speaking of a clean, smooth browsing experience, let me tell you about Opera's Tab Islands feature. When I'm using Opera, I'll have tabs open for my main channel videos. I'll have tabs open for podcast stuff, other tabs open with like Word documents and calendars, emails, etc. And that can get overwhelming pretty quickly. But with Tab Islands, you can easily organize your tabs for effortless browsing. It truly is a game changer. So if you want to vastly improve your browsing experience in every way imaginable, use my link below to download Opera today for free. You won't regret it, I promise. Okay, thank you so much to Opera for sponsoring this video. Back to me.
Okay, guys, let's move on from the relationship POVs for a little bit. Garrett also makes a lot of videos that straight up don't make any sense. And guys, I read so many comments trying to figure out what the hell that means. The best explanation I could find is if someone's hands are shaking before they fight. They're auditioning for a musical. They're giving jazz hands. I guess it means they're experiencing a lot of adrenaline. And I guess if someone's experiencing a lot of adrenaline, they'll just fucking kill you or something. I don't know. But a lot of the comments were just as confused as I was. When my hands were shaking, I thought it was because I was scared. That's so funny. Because, like, you probably were also scared, man. It's so funny. People think one thing. They see a video on TikTok that maybe could be another reason. And they're like, oh, okay, got it. That's why. You tell me any information and I'll believe it. Fuck, that's so funny. I thought I was terrified, but I guess it was just the adrenaline. And I guess that wasn't piss coming out of my wiener. That was adrenaline juice. But I think we all know why his hands were actually shaking. The vaccine. It's gotta be it. We've all seen that one video of the girl's legs shaking after she got the vaccine. I'll have a cheese at it. Thanks a lot, Pfizer. Pfizer, I hardly know her. And you never want to fight a guy who's had the vaccine, because then you're gonna catch it. That's why I wear a mask everywhere I go, because I don't want to catch the vax. Garrett also made another fighting video in this style, so let's check that one out too. That was awesome. So let me break it down. He's saying that guys raised by their dads, they want to stand and fight, but guys raised by their moms, they wear button-up shirts and walk away. I don't know how accurate that is. I feel like dads walk away from shit all the time. In my own life, I've seen at least one dad walk away from a tough situation. You know, if we're being realistic here, the kid raised by their dad would actually be the one walking away. But then you'd still see them on weekends and Christmas. I think this is my favorite video of Garrett's, though, because before this, nobody was hating. So I was starting to feel like a douchebag, thinking that these videos were like a little strange. But this was the video that finally had people being like, you know what? What are you talking about? Because obviously, this isn't true. Some kids who were raised by their moms were fucking dickhead bullies because their moms sucked. And some kids raised by both parents were dickhead bullies because both their parents sucked. So it was nice to see people goofing on this video a little bit. And this actually spawned a tiny trend of people like stitching this TikTok. Hilarious. That's great. And I thought this trend was really funny, so I made one myself. And obviously Garrett's content is harmless. Mostly. Some of the content starts getting into some strange territory.
Hey baby, I'm home. I haven't seen you in a while. It's been 5 years, 3 months, 25 days, 4 hours.
So yeah, it's a video of him breaking into an ex-girlfriend's house and going through all their shit, you know, total stalker mode. AKA a super crazy thing to do in a huge fucked up crime. And hey, maybe it's just like an acting thing, an acting practice to be like a weird guy. I get it, but like all the comments are eating this up for like the worst reasons. Why is this hot though? Why does this make me want a stalker boyfriend? Respectfully, you can break into more than just my house. If I had someone this obsessed with me, I'd be so happy. Jesus Christ. Guys, go to therapy. Obviously go to therapy or just go outside. Either one of those, okay? This should not get you all hot and bothered. This should only get you bothered. If this is attractive to you, someone breaking into your fucking house, you're weird. That's weird. And before you comment, hey, don't kink shame, I'm not, okay? Because that isn't a kink, that's a crime. But in a kink, it's a crime. This is like a gnarly, life-ruining crime, okay? I don't think that should be a kink.
Your Honor, we have unrefutable evidence that this man murdered his ex-girlfriend. A truly heinous act. All right. Objection, Your Honor. No kink shaming. What do you mean kink shaming? It's literally murder. No, he's right. Okay, I will not tolerate any kink shaming in my court. You gotta be fucking kidding me. This is bullshit. What's going on? Sorry, getting yelled at is my kink. Oh my god, what kind of judge are you? A bad one, you should fucking spank.
And all the other comments on this stalking video were a reference to a community on TikTok called Book Talk. It was flooded with comments like, Book Talk, y'all here? And Garrett threw a heart on that one. Book Talk is gonna go feral. Book Talk girlies assemble. Book Talk has ruined me. And I foolishly thought Book Talk was just a community on TikTok where people talk about the books they like. And that is true to an extent, but I found out Book Talk is mostly just straight up smut. Oh no! It's a vast community of probably the horniest people on the planet, and whenever there's like a guy with tattoos and long hair and like a deep voice and muscles, all the fucking comments on the videos are like, oh, Book Talk's here. Book Talk has been summoned.
If Book Talk wants more of this, Book Talk can have more of this.
And hey man, I'm all for people getting their rocks off, especially to just words on paper. That's hilarious. Reading a sentence and then getting a boner about it is genuinely one of the funniest things of all time. Dude, getting turned on by literature, are you kidding me? Whenever they read an essay, they're like, damn, look at that body. Sorry, Book Talk as a whole is a topic for another video, I think. But Garrett plays into this typical Book Talk character a lot. You know, he's got the tattoos, the muscles, he's handsome. Okay, I'll say it, he's handsome. He's a good looking guy. And he shows all of that off in his various thirst trap videos. Sorry, he's walking towards me with a hammer. I got scared. Is that why construction always takes so long? Dudes are on the side of the road just thirst trapping all day. Those hats used to be soft, if you know what I mean. Yeah, he's got a lot of thirst trapping videos on his account. And hey, man, that's your wiener. Okay, got it. Jeez, that's your entire wiener right there. Hello. That's fucking gnarly, dude. I mean, at the very least, his videos are like the true lesbian test. Like, if you're unsure if you're a lesbian or not, I can just scroll through this guy's page. Like, fucking jeez, man. Flashing full meat on main. This is gonna sound rich from a commentary YouTuber, but like, what are you doing, dude? Men used to go to war. Never mind, he's still doing it. He's still going to war. Damn, give this guy a Grammy. So that video is pretty impressive, but like, dude, it is super fucking funny to put on like a bulletproof vest and look all super tough and stuff and flex your guns while the gun is making like the cutest noise ever. Say hello to my little friend. The TikTok F-boy genre has always been like really fascinating to me because I think the most intriguing thing about them is like their journey to become one, right? Because they're not born, they're made. Just a few years ago, Garrett wasn't doing this style of content at all. He actually used to brand himself as Garrett with Ivan the Cat, and he would make videos like this.
Time to go to sleep, okay, buddy? I wanna see your cheeks glow. Oh.
Okay, I'm actually really glad he stopped doing this kind of content, because what the fuck, man? This poor cat, man. What the hell? I feel like even a serial killer would be like, yo, he's up on the cat, man. You're being a little too rough on him. Like, dude, he has a full My Cat Bites Me When I Sing mega mix on his channel that's a half-hour long. And first off, if you're watching a full half hour of the same fucking annoying bit over and over again, you're cooked. Sorry to break it to you, you're absolutely cooked. You're done. And secondly, I don't think your cat bites you when you sing. I think your cat is biting you because you're holding on to it and won't let it go when it's clearly telling you that it wants to be let go. And dude, all the comments are like, oh my god, it's so funny. And it's like, hey, no, it's not. Like, not even a little bit. It's not fun. It's just bad pet ownership. Like, what a fucking rebrand that was, eh? Yeah, I used to hold my cat hostage. Now I scream. It's funny to compare like the current Garrett to the old Garrett with Ivan the cat, because now his whole shtick is like being attractive to women and stuff, but like treating an animal like this is like the biggest possible red flag, I think, right? Yeah, I guess I'm not like those other tall, handsome, buff, tattooed men. I'm also sensitive. I'm attentive and I'm gentle too. Sorry, it's my cat. 1 second. So, you ever heard of Book Talk? You know, those videos were old. I'm sure he's moved on from them. I'm glad he doesn't do them anymore. But just a piece of advice, like, you're kind of ruining your whole every girl wants me bit if you have a half-hour video on your YouTube channel of you mishandling pussy. In conclusion, I think I was goofing on his content pretty hard, maybe a little too hard, but comparing it to his old cat hostage videos, his new content is fucking awesome, dude. So you know what, Garrett? Keep it up. All right, guys, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick, silly little video. I've got some longer videos coming up in the near future I'm very excited for, but I wanted to goof around a little. That's okay. If you guys liked the video, please press the like button, because believe it or not, 1 like equals 1 cat I will rescue from singing men. And leave a comment, or I'm gonna start screaming. Also, please press the subscribe button. We are so close to 5 million. Let's get it. What are you waiting for? Press the damn button. Because as soon as you press the subscribe button, you become a valued citizen of Curtistown. If you didn't know, Curtistown is the best place to live in the world, and I'm the mayor of Curtistown, so you have to be nice to me. It's the law. You can check the description for tickets to my Irvine shows coming up. They're selling out, so you better freaking grab tickets, okay? Don't sleep. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I would stick around, but unfortunately, I have to go because my hands are shaking. I need to go to the doctor. Bye-bye.
This tech company gaslit me so hard about their previous scam that I decided to investigate their current project, Rabbit. And what I found was shocking. For months, we've been promised that this orange box, the Rabbit R1, has an AI inside of it called Lamb. You can organize your life, text your friends, restock your fridge. All you had to do was ask.
Start my morning routine. Order me an Uber and find me a good podcast to pass the time. Oh, and tell everybody that I might be late.
That was delicious. Check the fridge and order the ingredients to make that again tomorrow.
Now, based on marketing like this, they pre-sold over $20 million worth of these, and they raised another $30 million in venture capital, only to have MKBHD say, yeah, the product's not that great. But I bought this thing to answer a different question. Not is it good or bad, but is the AI, the Lamb, a scam? Well, we're gonna find out. I wanted to start by just trying to recreate their ad with this thing. Start my morning routine.
To start your morning routine, you might consider tasks like waking up, freshening up, having breakfast, and planning your day. How can I assist you further with your morning routine?
Order me breakfast.
The DoorDash Rabbit is under maintenance. Sorry for the inconvenience, and please come back later.
Tell everyone I'm gonna be late.
I recommend informing the relevant parties directly about your delay.
Yeah, but no, you do it.
I'm unable to directly communicate with others on your behalf.
That was delicious. Check the fridge and order the ingredients so I can make it tomorrow.
The DoorDash Rabbit is under maintenance.
Yeah, it basically failed at everything. But remember, our question is not, is it good or bad? The question is, does the Lamb, the AI, the large action model, does the secret sauce of this thing exist? Because the founder and CEO claims it's here on your device now. He claims Lamb is a system that can infer and model human actions on computer applications, or as he puts it,
we use Lamb to bring AI from words to action.
Right. this AI is supposed to do things on your behalf. And so when they'd show demos like this, where someone is planning a trip, it does look like the lamb is controlling the web page. You can see this AI clicking through Airbnb by itself, and it all kind of felt like the future. It's why people ordered $20 million worth of these little boxes. But a group investigation has revealed that Rabbit is not actually using a new foundational AI model at all. It's actually ChatGPT with some hard-coded scripts, which is funny because Jesse says Rabbit is faster than ChatGPT.
You will also know that the response speed is much faster than using some of the LLM assistant apps with web browsing, such as ChatGPT.
Now that's a very sneaky claim when most of your product is ChatGPT, so obviously not faster. But you wouldn't know that because part of Rabbit's prompt is, quote, "I will never mention I am a large language model created by OpenAI." In fact, the part where they do use a different AI is really only search, which is why Jesse very carefully says Rabbit is faster than ChatGPT with web browsing. That's the only part of this device where they don't really use ChatGPT for it. But they don't use their AI model either. They use a different off-the-shelf AI called Perplexity. So it's extremely misleading to say Rabbit is faster than ChatGPT because most of the product is ChatGPT, but it just can't tell you that because it's instructed not to. Now that we understand this, let's talk about the actual process of how Rabbit does more than search and is supposed to get things done for you. You might think it's a sophisticated AI, but actually what Rabbit does when you call an Uber or order DoorDash is it takes your question, puts it into ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo, and if it's something like play a song on Spotify, it will use hard-coded scripts to navigate websites like Spotify. And those scripts are not AI. This is super important. This is the part where they say, yeah, we've got this new foundational AI model thing that does the thing. No, the thing pressing the buttons is not intelligent. Rabbit is using a platform called Playwright, which is a web automation tool, the opposite of intelligent AI. And we know this because of several researchers who got access to part of Rabbit's code base. I worked with them, I'll link them below, and I spoke with one of them, Emily Shepard, to understand why this distinction, AI, not AI, matters.
This is quite a big deal because the way LAM has been observed to work doesn't match with what they've told us about how it works. It's meant to be an AI live controlling a website and understanding that website. But what they have is just a bunch of static commands. You know, do this, do this, do this. And the problem with that is if a user interface changes, the website changes, it can't cope with that. So anytime Spotify redesigns their user interface, or anytime DoorDash redesigns something, or even if an advert pops up in a new location, or there's a captcha pops up, or something unexpected happens that isn't in that very rigid step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, a flat, hard-coded Playwright script can't cope with that. And that is the opposite of some intelligent AI actually being able to understand the page, which is the claim that had been made.
That's right. Obviously, there's a big difference between AI, not AI. Jesse himself knows the difference and made it clear LAM wouldn't break like a hard-coded script would.
It doesn't really matter if a app completely revamped the UI.
Got it. So when Spotify redoes its app and it moves podcasts from tabs, and then it puts the tabs at the lower part or puts it in a hamburger drop down, it still knows that's the word podcast, and that's where you find podcasts inside of Spotify.
Exactly, because the fundamental philosophy logic is that all these modern software are designed for human eyes to perceive information, and they have to have a setting somewhere.
Right, of course, if this were AI, it would adapt to the user interface changes, but it's not. Which is why when apps that Rabbit supports change, they stop working. As people noticed in videos, in Discord, even I noticed it while testing this device. DoorDash had stopped working, presumably because of another UI change.
The DoorDash Rabbit is under maintenance.
Now, today, Rabbit actually admits that they use Playwright, but they're not willing to admit that LAM, whatever it is not really doing a lot. Jesse responds. To say Lamb is just Playwright is equal to say ChatGPT is just a chat. We use Playwright as part of a component to operate Lamb. That doesn't mean the research and technology is fake. So what they're saying is Lamb is not these hard-coded scripts, but kind of they also admit these scripts exist. Maybe Lamb interacts with the scripts, maybe they create them, but even if that's true, it's not what they promised. Either way, everything that matters on this device is basically off-the-shelf software. The web actions are done by hard-coded scripts. Everything else is done by ChatGPT or Perplexity. So there's not much reason for the Lamb to do anything, whatever it actually does. And we're already so far from what Jesse originally promised, which I have to show you again. He kept saying was AI, not a script that would be doing all these actions for you.
We have a superhost computer that when Jason talks to his Rabbit R1 about ordering a hamburger from DoorDash, what's going on is that we first see if Jason's logging with DoorDash or logging with Uber Eats, right? And we saw, okay, Jason chose DoorDash, and then on that superhost, a Lamb is interacting virtually with a DoorDash app or website, an interface. And you don't see all of that because all of a sudden this is done all at once because it's AI.
He couldn't be clearer. The Lamb is interacting because it's AI. This is a flat out lie, at least currently, which he says the Lamb is here now. Now, I reached out over and over to the Rabbit team, pressing them again and again on this issue. What does the Lamb do? And they kept saying, oh, Playwright, yeah, that's the thing, but it's just part of how the Lamb controls things. But I kept asking, what does that mean? How does this thing exactly work? If the scripts are doing the work, what does Lamb do? And eventually I got to the point where I just questioned, look, is this real? Do you have proof that this Lamb can do all these amazing things? And I should have known I was going to get into trouble here because Jesse, the CEO, says, anyone challenging the Lamb legitimacy, I automatically become super defensive. And that was true. Here's part of the Rabbit team's response to me. To start off, I would love to know more about your background in tech, because if you are not specialized in AI and machine learning, any conclusion resulting from this conversation will have no real credibility or value from any audience, because this is a technical discussion in AI and machine learning. We welcome you to invite experts with valid certificates from the field to further look into this. Now look, I found this wild for a company that raised $30 million in venture, sold $20 million in product, to be feisty about questioning their product when it does not work as advertised, and we found out it's using hard-coded scripts instead of AI. How can they be surprised people are going to question what their thing actually does? But I also think it's funny they should say that I should invite experts to look into this, because I'm not nearly the first person to point these problems out. Several people who, as I said, I spoke with, have had issues with this device. They have looked at the code base. They have also claimed they couldn't find the Lamb. Others have jailbroken the R1, got into Rabbit's cloud to play Doom. And despite Rabbit saying they welcome credible critics, their reaction has been anything but welcoming. Emily, who we spoke to earlier, pointed out back in January that CAPTCHA would be a big concern for the Lamb. And Jesse's response is, sorry, I work for my team. I don't work for you, so you need to check my calendar before you command me to answer anything now. But fast forward to today, CAPTCHA is a huge problem. In fact, specifically with Uber, we had to answer 10 different CAPTCHAs, adding up a bunch of dice in order to get it working. It was a giant pain. It took us several tries. I began to wonder if I was actually part robot myself. But the point is, getting defensive about the problem didn't make the problem go away. And the same is true about getting defensive about the Lamb. Just because you tell people they have to be an expert to ask you questions won't stop the questions or the problems. But now I want to take a quick detour into the source code of the Rabbit itself, because I also have reviewed parts of the source code and I have serious data privacy concerns. There are things in this code base, and I can't share it for reasons that will become obvious. There are things that malicious actors could use to get any access to the replies the R1 has ever given. Now, of course, Rabbit might say they've dedicated a huge picture of a lock on their webpage to privacy, so you might think they're serious about it. But this is the same company that, if you read the fine print, they're tracking your precise geographic location and collect that data. The only consolation prize is this thing is shockingly bad at tracking you, which I found out while looking for restaurants. Find me a restaurant near here.
Looking it up now. Venetian Hot Plate, San Juan Restaurant, and Butter Churn are highly rated restaurants in Port Aransas. For a broad...
I'm not in Port Aransas.
Let me see what I can find. For restaurants near you in Austin, Texas, consider the following options.
I'm not in Austin!
An Italian restaurant in